Tonight on Daily Planet. What does it take to be a Formula 2 driver with a competitive edge? Well, you gotta know your track inside out.
Tilt! And you thought pinball was dead? Well, not in California. We're gonna show you how this crew plans to keep the ball in play.
Plus, can Alan Nursall cut it as a short track speed skater? We'll get the verdict from the experts.
3, 2, 1, fire.
And this lab's brought out the heavy artillery to help test the world's strongest blast-proof door.
Brute force and solid science.
This is Daily Planet.
Hi, welcome to Daily Planet. I'm Dan Riskin.
And I'm Zaya Tong, and we have one hip-hopping show for you today.
Yep, we got Canadian beatbox legend and champion Scott Jackson right here in the studio. You have to hear this guy. He makes the weirdest noises. See, science has just figured out how people make those noises, but we're going to show you what those noises sound like so you can see it firsthand. It's
crazy. And you're going to get to see Dan beatbox as well, which is quite funny. We're also checking out a shark that's been making headlines in Australia, and we're going to see a giant goldfish just caught in a Michigan lake, and no one is ever going to flush this giant goldfish down a toilet. That's for sure, because it won't fit.
No, it will not fit. But first, we all know it's fun to drive fast, and no one knows that better than race car drivers. But before you can go fast on a track, you have to know that track like the back of your hand. And
for this week's Road Warrior segment, we got an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at how one Formula 2 driver does just that.
Daniel McKenzie loves to go fast.
It gives you a buzz like nothing else. You're driving at speeds that you just never experienced in anything else. You know, your neck wants to be ripped off your shoulders. It's trying to fold over the side of the car. It's a great experience. It's great fun.
It might be fun, but it's also how he pays the bills. Daniel is a Formula 2 driver.
The driver's supposed to get in there, he's supposed to put it on pole position, and he's supposed to win. That's the point. That's what I'm here to do. All I want to do is win. So that's what I'm going for.
To help him win, he needs practice, practice, practice. Something that's a little challenging to do at home. Today, he's hitting the track for test day. His only chance to get that practice before the big race.
So pretty much, as it sounds, you test things. To learn the circuit, get used to it in an F2 car, and fine-tune what I need to for this upcoming race weekend.
This isn't just any track. It's Spa Francorchamps, deep in the hills of Belgium. With its 20 tight-packed curves and massive ups and downs, this 7-kilometer track is one of the most challenging races in the world.
But there's a lot of undulation here at Spa Francorchamps, so you need to make sure the car's low, but not too low, so it's bottoming out.
Formula 2 cars are different from their more popular sister cars, the Formula 1.
The main differences are, a Formula 1 car has a big V8 engine, and we've got a 1.8 turbo, so a little bit different there.
It might be a smaller engine, but it's still got a lot of kick. With 425 horsepower, it's 3 or 4 times more powerful than your average commuter car, bringing it up to speeds of more than 200 kilometers an hour. Crashing is always a concern.
When you see other people crashing, that's always quite unnerving. I've been in loads of accidents now. You know, I'd smashed into a barrier at 130 miles per hour, but you walk out.
With his safety gear on, it's time to hit the track for the first run of the day.
The first run is to make sure that the car is okay, there's no little faults, errors that need sort of working on.
After a few laps, he heads back to the pit. All of the car's information is downloaded from a memory card so that Daniel and his engineer Paul can go over real-time results.
Okay, so first corner looking pretty good.
Braking's actually really good, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got to be patient on here with the tyres.
What's the mileage on the tyres at the moment? The tyres that we've been running, what's the mileage on those?
So we've done 191 kilometres on those. That's set now.
It's quite high.
Yeah, well, you haven't got the confidence to go through the high speed when you know the tyre's not good.
Daniel's tyres are holding him back, so Paul calls for a fresh set.
The tyres here are under massive load. These are very soft tyres. They'll have very good initial pace, but as they get older, they fall off very quickly.
Just as the tyres get jacked onto the car, it starts to rain. Business as usual at Francorchamps.
Of course, in this lovely place in Belgium where the hills are, you do get nice, huge amounts of rain, showers, you get everything thrown at you.
But Daniel's team is prepared. It means instead of new slicks, he gets new grips.
Because you've got water on the surface itself, you need a tyre that's got tread blocks so it can push the water out. If not, then you start to get the car where it aquaplanes, where it sits on the surface, and it's just like a tea tray over water. You just got no control over it.
A few soggy laps later, Daniel checks back in with Paul.
Other than a slight bit of understeer through the slower speed stuff, it was pretty planted, really. You know, overall, for a wet car, for a wet track, I was quite impressed.
Daniel can also instantly go through video footage of his runs.
And what the graph is telling you is the different parameters. At the moment, this is showing speed against time and distance. Things like that's the RPM now, so you can tell what RPM I'm doing. Also got lateral G, vertical G. So the idea of this is you've just got enough information so you can see what you're doing and also you can compare against someone else.
Now, he knows that at precisely this moment, he was in too low a gear, costing him precious seconds. With all these data fresh in his mind, it's time for his final run. The rain's letting up, so he swaps back to the slicks. This run is crucial because now he gets to test the boost, which gives him a temporary lift to 500 horsepower.
And that boost lasts for 6 seconds. The championship will tell you how many times you can use it, and they will limit each driver.
He uses the first boost here, in a particularly challenging stretch of the track called Eau Rouge.
It's quite an uphill section. The car gets quite bogged down, but then you've got a long straight afterwards. It's a strange experience, the boost. You go speed, you do feel like a good kick in the bag. Because it's turbo, it almost feels like someone's turned on a vacuum cleaner and put it right close to your head.
Just as he boosts the second time, he gets flagged in. There's been an accident.
Red flags because of accidents, so it's a bit of a shame.
The driver is unhurt, but it brings test day to a close. Despite the dramatic end, Daniel was still able to learn a lot about how to master Francorchamps and its steep curves.
Decent first day, to be honest. I'm fairly happy with that. We had good pace in both dry and wet, so just gives us something to work on.
Now, he feels prepared to take on race day no matter what the Belgian hills throw at him.
At the end of the day, the driver has to perform as well. So it's a good time to test yourself out. Test where you can brake that little bit later, pick up that power a little bit earlier. So it's a good overall test. I'd be lost without racing. It is a part of my life and I love it.
And in case you're wondering how Daniel did after the big race, well, all the extra analyses paid off. He came in second, and he's got me drooling like crazy because now I want to outfit my car with things that can make those kinds of graphs every time I drive to work.